Hi everyone, welcome to a brand new week of TNT. Thank you for those people that joined us on our Saturday program. Also those people that clicked onto Grumpy Old Men yesterday. It was quite a fun episode. Hope you enjoyed it. But welcome to you all. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel because that really does help us a lot. But we'll get stuck into today's news and we start with Thai PBS World. And the report that Thai police believe suspects in a murder of a Chinese student have fled to China. Particularly grisly story, this. So let's get into it. And the Thai police believe that at least 3 men of Chinese nationality were involved in the kidnap and murder of a Chinese student in Nonthaburi province, and that they left China for Chengdu in Sichuan province back on March the 30th. And police say that the 22-year-old Jin Kan, a Chinese music student at Bangkok Thonburi University, is believed to have been kidnapped from the university on March 28th. Senior police say that CCTV also showed 3 men of Chinese appearance entering a convenience store near a housing estate in Bang Yai, adding that witnesses confirmed that the men had visited the store on several occasions. And a lecturer at the Thonburi University called Mingquan told police that he received a call from the student's father in China saying that a stranger called him using his daughter's VSAT application, demanding that a ransom equivalent of about 2.5 million baht be wired to a Bank of China account in exchange for the freedom of his daughter. The stranger also sent an image of the student with her hands and legs tied. He said the father did not pay the ransom, fearing that it was a prank. Police checked the CCTV system at the university and discovered she had left the campus in a taxi which took her to the Central Westgate shopping mall in Bang Yai. Particularly disturbing story there. Chinese citizens flying down, kidnapping a Chinese student, issuing ransom demands, and then within 24 hours killing the student. So let's hope that they can be tracked down and extradited. We go to our next story today, and Thailand didn't extend the 45-day visa exemption stamp, reverting back to 30-day entry for most nationalities. This is being reported by Loyalty Lobby. And before you start getting your knickers in a knot, Loyalty Lobby's nothing to do with political lobbying. It's about loyalty systems for travel and things like that. And they say last October, the 45-day visa waiver stamp returned as Thailand sought to stimulate the tourism industry and induce visitors to stay longer in the hopes they would spend more money. It was increased from 30 days. It's now gone back to 30 days. And it's probably difficult to measure, says the writer, if that really came to fruition, other than checking how many people stayed longer than the original 30 days. I asked a couple of people who commented on the last article how long they stayed, and in all cases it was less than 30 days. And the writer goes on, all it did was help long stayers who usually remain in the country on tourist visas to avoid one more visa run. While this demographic does spend money in the country, it's by no means as much as a genuine tourist would spend on a daily basis, measured in hotel receipts and other expenses. So obviously this is more of an opinion piece, but an interesting opinion nonetheless. Objectively, though, those who always cry the loudest are hardly legitimate tourists in Thailand, but rather the usual barstool crowd that tries to get by cheap and remains put by methods such as visa runs. The same people bickered for years when Thailand had the COVID extension in place, which was a visa relief or extension that granted 60 days of stay to those who apply without having to leave the country. This eventually ended in August last year, way beyond when COVID was really a problem anymore, and yet you still had people who complained about the program ending. It was reported online that Thailand has officially reverted back to the original rules for visa waiver arrivals, which means that most countries from Europe, North America and Japan and Australia will receive the basic 30-day entry allowance compared to the 45 days, which has been in place for the past 6 months. Rumours and appeals by the Thai Tourism Authority did not materialise in the extension of the program, and down the bottom, should travellers now wish to stay longer in Thailand, they can either get a 60-day tourist e-visa prior to their arrival or extend the stay one time at a local immigration office. But he mentions that you can easily spend half a day there waiting in line depending on where you go. Says that Bangkok's the worst. Obviously the tourist areas are the busiest immigration locations. But yes, the 30-day stays can be extended by another 30 days, and people on visa on arrival, they get 15 days. That's come back from 30 days last week, and they can also extend for another 15 days, well, most can, after a visit to an immigration office. So that story was reported by Sebastian Powell. So if you don't like being referred to as Barstool Crowd, you can take it up with Sebastian. Now, with thanks to 5 Star Marine, thank you very much for your support. And if you'd like to go on a premium private tour off the island of Phuket, off to any number of islands and beautiful beaches off Phuket, then 5 Star Marine is my high recommendation. Now, they're just so busy at the moment, and the weather's been perfect, and there's so many people on the island at the moment, and of course leading up to Songkran it's just going to get busier. They simply can't fit me in onto one of their boats at the moment, so that's going to all happen after Songkran. I promise, when it happens, I will take you with me. This is the TNT program, a brand new week. It's Monday, and thank you very much for joining us. We head now to the nation Thailand. Chiang Rai skies lit up with disquieting message, "We can't breathe." A drone light show pleading for farmers to stop burning fields was held last night at a school in Chiang Rai's main city district. Phrases like "We can't breathe," "Please stop burning," and "Save the North" were spelled out in Thai in the sky above the city by lights from drones. Others spelled out the health impacts of the air pollution. "We suffer from eye irritation," and "We suffer from sore throats." The Radio Control Airplane Modeler Sports Association, National Research Council of Thailand, and Higher Education Ministry, that is such a long name. Anyway, they organised the event. It was held as PM 2.5 air pollution continues to sicken people throughout the region. It remains at dangerous levels in Chiang Rai and Chiang Mai province. Let's go to the map, and this is on iqair.com. You can check this any day, any time. And you can see there that number 2, again in the world AQI rankings, Chiang Mai, at least it's been beaten today by Delhi in India. But there we can see once again, perhaps not as high as some of the days last week, but really not much better. Up there in the very north, you've got Chiang Rai and Chiang Mai, which I've underlined, and only one area there seems to have what we'd call hazardous air pollution. Other areas are very unhealthy, but you can see still most of those fires are still occurring up in northern Laos, and the northeasterly airflow blowing the smoke down into the north of Thailand. So that situation remains. That is live, that is this morning, that is the situation as it is right now. We go to Nation Thailand once again, nationthailand.com. Most Thais want to be self-employed, survey finds. So I thought this was interesting because we're still in a situation where so many of the hotels, people in the tourism industry, tourism and hospitality generally, reporting they simply can't get good staff. Now, I note the situation appears to have improved a little bit, but this survey may show one of those reasons why. A lot of Thai people simply want to work for themselves. A poll titled "What Do Thais Think About Business Ownership" was conducted last month, and they interviewed 1,207 respondents. Among the respondents, 66.5% said they'd been wanting to run a business since COVID-19 came to an end. 62.4% said they've spotted new business opportunities. That's up from nearly 56%. The new survey also found that 51.8% of the respondents considered themselves knowledgeable enough to set up a new business, and another 48% of respondents said they knew entrepreneurs or networks who could help them set up a business, and that's also up since 45.6% in January. So interesting that it seems a lot of Thai people are more looking forward to starting their own businesses rather than working for someone else. So COVID-19 has certainly shifted the opinion of a lot of Thais. Obviously, they've spent some of that lockdown time just doing a bit of research and seeing what they can do. And of course, as we've seen online, a lot of those businesses are online and people can conduct those from home. Or if not, they work during the day, maybe at a coffee shop, and then they come home and they do their online business in the evenings. a bit of a quantum shift. Bit of a sad story from Phuket now, and this is from the Phuket Express.com. A British man in Phuket dies after being stung by a bee. And this happened in Rawai, which is right down the very south of Phuket. They arrived at the house to find the 68-year-old British national on a bed inside the house. His Thai wife said her husband was driving a motorbike home when he was stung by a bee. He arrived at the house before he was injected with an anti-allergy medicine. That's usually like an EpiPen for those people that know they're allergic to things like nuts or bees. After that, he fell unconscious. She said her husband was severely allergic to insects such as bees. Sad story there, reported in the PhuketExpress.com. Back to the nation Thailand.com, and this story, Paetongtarn tops list of PM favourites in Samut Prakan. So Samut Prakan, part of that greater Bangkok area, it's the province just to the southeast of the sort of main Bangkok city. Suvarnabhumi Airport is part of Samut Prakan, but it's all part of that heartland of what's considered to be conservative Bangkok elite army supporting sort of political areas. And the story says that a recent opinion poll shows that Samut Prakan voters want to see Paetongtarn Shinawatra at the helm of the country instead of the incumbent PM General Prayut Chan-o-cha. Now, as I just go through this very briefly, there is one glaring omission in the numbers, and it's a NIDA poll confirming the PM Thaksin Shinawatra's youngest daughter's popularity. She's come out top in 2 national and provincial surveys, though she did not top the list in Bangkok and the South. These are all NIDA polls, by the way. The actual election is on May the 14th. And this is the poll for preferred Prime Minister, and she's got nearly 36% of the poll vote. The next one is Peter, who's the head of the Move Forward Party, another opposition party, and down there nearly 14% Prayut Chan-o-cha, and then we've got some others as we go down the list. Who's missing from that list? The survey also found that Pheu Thai Party was overwhelmingly supported by Samut Prakan voters compared to other parties, and 44.6% supported Pheu Thai. Then we've got Move Forward, United Thai Nation, and their candidate for the Prime Minister in the next election is Prayut Chan-o-cha. Then there's Si Rom Thai Palang Pracharat, who is the current leader of the coalition, and then the Democrats, and nearly down the bottom there, 1.55% Bhumjaithai Party, led by the current Public Health Minister, Anutin. Now, they were the party, and he was the man that sponsored the decriminalisation of cannabis on June the 9th last year. And we're in a situation now where we're still in a twilight zone without any formal cannabis bill telling people exactly what they can and can't do. A lot of assumptions have been made, but we live in this twilight zone, and the possibilities of a cannabis bill supporting the current situation getting up after the election, I think if you look at all the poll results, would be very slim indeed. So I think people who are interested in what's happening with cannabis around Thailand need to have a close look at the polls and consider their options, because the situation may change after the election. We go to our next story now, and this is from BangkokPost.com. China ready to speed up talks with ASEAN over the South China Sea. China is ready to work with Malaysia and other Southeast Asian nations to speed up consultation for a Southeast China Code of Conduct. This has been reported by Xinhua. Now, Xinhua, of course, is a Chinese government-owned English-speaking news outlet, so take that in mind. And the Premier Li Qiang says that Beijing's prepared to collaborate to jointly maintain peace and stability in the area. He said Asia is our common home and win-win cooperation is the only right choice. He said this during a meeting with the Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim yesterday. China and ASEAN have been working for nearly 20 years to establish a code of conduct covering the disputed body of water. China asserts rights to more than 80% of the South China Sea based on a 1947 map showing vague markings that have since become known as the 9-Line. And tensions have been rising between the Asian giant and other claimants to the area, notably the Philippines, Malaysia, Taiwan, Indonesia, Vietnam and Brunei, as Beijing builds out disputed reefs, islands and land formations and militarises them with ports, runways and other infrastructure. Last month, China hit back at the US for expanding military access in the Philippines, saying Washington was trying to encircle and contain it. So as long as China and the ASEAN nations are still discussing the matter, that's all that matters. Let's hope that something more formal can be nutted out in the next couple of years. Going on to another story now in Hua Hin today. Taxi drivers clash over foreign passengers at a Hua Hin train station. An altercation involving two female taxi drivers, one of whom was a Grab driver, being investigated by police. It was all over a fare dispute about a foreign family of 5 with their luggage. Would have been a lucrative fare, because a lot of the taxis these days charge per bag as well. And they were both hurling insults before physically assaulting one another. Both drivers later reported the incident to police, but both drivers involved in the altercation have issued apologies for their involvement and for negatively impacting the image of Hua Hin. So just another one of these disputes between the traditional taxis who think they own the place and the app-based taxi services. We will hear more of these disputes in the future. Now, this story from the PattayaNews.com. Chaotic Pattaya bar fight leaves many people injured. 2 rival groups of young adults clashed in a Pattaya pub at 3:20 a.m. this morning. Yes, AM is usually the morning, leaving many people injured. The careless groups threw bottles and punches at each other in front of law enforcement officers. The fight erupted in a pub named Yes Pattaya in the Pattaya area on the 3rd Road, so this happened yesterday morning. And the groups reportedly did not stop, even though the authorities had already shown up. 6 injured people, excluding those who previously escaped and went to hospital by themselves, were rescued from the pub and taken to the Bang Lamung and Pattaya hospitals. And many social media commenters also noted the time of the incident, asking why the venue was not closed at 2 a.m, the legal closing time for nightlife venues in entertainment zones. Pattaya police did not immediately answer this query because, as we all know, payments are sometimes made by these venues to remain open past the legal time, and payments are made allegedly to members of the local constabulary. Thank you for joining us on our TNT today. That sort of is a bit of a wrap-up of what's happening around Thailand and the region. Hopefully you know a little bit more now. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Been great having you with us for the past 15 minutes. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow.